If you wish to join the net or need to make a call at any time, please announce your call sign between transmissions, and Net Control will acknowledge you. If an emergency should arise and you need the repeater, please contact Net Control by saying break, break. A double break signifies emergency traffic. The net will stand by for you until the emergency is terminated or the traffic is moved to another frequency. Stations who wish to check in are asked to respond with their full call sign using the recognized ITU phonetic alphabet and their name. I'll recognize each station before continuing. Any station who wishes to check into the net, please come now.
November 6, Papa Golf, Quebec, Bob.
Kilo Lima 7, Hotel, Quebec, Romeo, Neil.
Kilo Papa 4, Mike Delta, Carol, Citrus Heights.
I copied Bob, N6PGQ, and Neil, KL7HQR. Carol, KP4MD. I'll put myself down, KN6QNJ. Anyone else like to check into the net? Please come now. All right. Well, Bob, N6PGQ, are you ready to send an image?
Yeah, let me transmit a tone and see if that works.
Nice clean tone.
Okay, this is PD120, N6PGQ.
Well, Bob, I have almost perfect copy of something that looks like a space invader, and I could imagine a swarm of these trying to take over the Earth. Neil, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Bob and Carol and James and Annette and KL7HQR. Yeah, it looks like pictures that we could not have received and made in California a few months ago, because look at all the green. And got a good picture, Bob. Very good. And like you said, looks like a space invader. However, I believe, as everybody knows, Bob has a step IR or a stepper antenna, which kind of, as you change frequencies, the tape will change lengths to accommodate for the new frequency. This is an attachment that you put on the ground, and it does the same thing for the radios, and it goes back and forth. And incidentally, you can also use it as a sprinkler. But good copy there, Bob. A very, very good copy. Back to Net.
Thanks, Neil. Carol, KP4MD.
Yeah, this is KP4MD. Well, Alf is saying it looks like a sprinkler and kind of interested if it moves forward or not. I also say it looks like one of those spinning sprinklers because it's got the water hose coming from the upper right-hand corner. But it's a kind of a strange sprinkler because it's got wheels on it. It's got 2 large wheels and then a single wheel in the front, kind of looks almost like a little miniature tractor. Curious if this is something that advances along a certain path as it's spraying the water. I don't know. But very interesting. So back to Nets, KP4MD.
Thanks, Carol. KN6QNJ. I remember these. I think they crawl along under their own hydraulic power, so to speak. And this follows the analog theme that Bob N6PGQ has been sharing with us. Again, I got excellent copy. I can't even see any pixel pops in it. Bob, before I give it back to you, I want to say good evening to Alf, who's watching on YouTube, KN6PRD, and Craig Bruce is also watching. All right, Bob, N6PGQ, go ahead.
Okay, well, this is a national traveling sprinkler, and the wheel in the front with the slot in it actually goes on top of your garden hose. And wherever you lay the garden hose, the sprinkler follows along. The top pipes have a nozzle at the end and direct the water so that it spins the pipes. If you look carefully, it joins at a T, and that T goes in and has a worm gear on it that cranks that white plastic gear in the, and that turns the arms that move the little pawls that go into the teeth of the wheel, and it goes forward, and then as the other one on the other side is going forward, the one closest to you goes backwards, and the pawl lifts over the wheel, and then when it goes forward, it advances it 1 tooth at a time. And so depending on how much pressure you put through the hose and through the nozzles, it determines how fast it goes along the hose, and you can also change the gear ratio a little bit and make it go faster or slower so that you water your lawn you water it appropriately. N6PGQ.
Any questions for Bob?
KL7HQR, no questions, but I also agree this has been an exceptional quality picture, although probably it would be very difficult to see some of the spots with the grass in the background, but good copy.
Thanks, Neil. Any other comments for Bob? All right, Neil, KL7HQR, it's your turn.
Okay, I haven't been here for many, many weeks. Let's hope that the gremlins have not jumped in. So if it works, it will be 120, PD 120. and apparently it's not. I don't see it going out.
I was just about to let you know it's not working. Do you want to try to do a test, Tom?
No, go ahead and let me do the reset of the whole thing here. So go ahead.
Okay. KP4MD, are you ready?
Affirmative. This picture is going to go out PD 120.
I heard tone. I got a good copy of, I think, KP4MD in her shack, or part of her shack. I do have pixel pops throughout, the little white specks, but overall good quality. I like the photo a lot. Neil, KL7HQR, go ahead.
Roger, got a very good copy here, no problem at all. Picture from behind showing what I believe to be Carol sitting at the desk on the left-hand side with a monitor and an enormous amount of QSL cards hanging on the wall. And I've never been inside her shack, but I assume that would be Carol. But very, very good copy, no problem at all back in that.
Thanks, Neil. Bob, N6PGQ.
Well, the only thing that hasn't been commented on is the gooseneck lamp lighting up the operating table. And I was going to make a comment that there's almost as much stuff on her desk as there is on mine. So I feel pretty good. Looks in above, I believe it's Carol's head. Looks like there's some boxes that you can store things in, or those are rack mounts. I can't quite tell. Plaque on the wall, QSL cards. Looks like a computer on the very far right on the ground, or some kind of a gray box of some type. A lot of pixel pops here, and you could hear them on the transmission also. N6PGQ.
Thanks, Bob. This is K6QNJ. Carol, KP4MD. Can you describe what you've shared?
Sure. This is KP4MD. I think, James, thank you for being very discreet because I already told you I was going to send this picture out earlier today. Yeah, this is a picture of me at my shack. Actually, this was, my niece took this picture 1 week ago as was doing the SSTV Net. And what you see on the screen there is OBS Studio and the YouTube live stream window. I've got both of those open there, although I know it's a tiny picture. You probably can't make it out too well. But Blaze was quite impressed by what we were doing last week, decided to snap this shot showing pretty much all my shack. What's you see above my head, actually, there's in that corner of the room is a wire shelving unit that goes from the countertop all the way practically to the ceiling, and it's where pretty much all of my equipment is in there. Well, all the way on the top, practically the top level, you see the spectrum analyzer. It's a Siglent one there, and then on top of that, there are some. There's a power supply and some boxes as well. Very good. Yeah, I'm only running 5 watts, and as you know, the sometimes you get pixel pops from the Beale Air Force Base radar. We get a little bit of interference on here. But this is my operating position during slow scan TV, seen from the back, so you can see the whole shack there. Thank you very much. Back to Nets, KP4MD.
Thanks, Carol. This is K6QNJ. Comments or questions for Carol?
7HQ. Always amazes me, Carol, how much activity, how much equipment, and how much success and communication you get out of your little corner. Makes me ashamed of all the space that I have, and I cannot get half of what you do.
Oh, yeah, I think you could probably do pretty well, Neil. You've actually done a lot of stuff with in the aerospace industry. I think you've had some tremendous, wonderful experiences that you've shared with us in photographs, and I certainly also envy you for that. Over.
We have our background, but we'll have a lot to learn from you. Thank you very much, Carol. Appreciate it. Back to Net.
Thanks, Neil. Craig online says he got very good copy on the internet. I think that's because what, Carol, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, what we're seeing on YouTube did not go over the air when you transmitted. Is that right?
That's correct. What you're seeing on the YouTube is the pictures that I'm receiving from everyone else, and when I'm sending out a picture, you're just seeing my the copy of my photo on my SSTV directly. It's so you're just seeing it pretty much hardwired through the internet when you get pictures from me. Over.
Thanks, Carol. But Craig, excellent observation. So you are seeing a high-quality photo just by the way things are being handled. Neil, KL7HQR, do you want to do a tone test?
Okay, here, tone test.
There you go.
Okay, let's give it a try again. PD120.
Wow, I got excellent copy. It wasn't PD-120, it was P3, at least that's what my software is showing. So it came through actually really sharp, although I do have these sort of diagonal, not diagonal completely, but a little texture through the sky. But that's excellent. You put a new pool in the backyard. Bob, N6PGQ, go ahead.
Yeah, I got the little diagonal lines in the sky also. Really nice picture. I really like it. So we're not in really calm seas. The ocean's breaking, has white caps on it. Then there appears to be an island in front of it. And from what I can tell, the center of the mountain has a cloud in it that looks to me like a face. You got two eyes and a nose and a little hint of a mouth. And then to the left it looks like a whole bunch of snow or ice or an iceberg or a flat surface with snow on it or something like that. Anyway, it's a really nice picture. N6PGQ.
Thanks, Bob. This is KN6QNJ. I see the face, too. It almost looks like a portrait of Vladimir Lenin. Carol, KP4MD.
Yeah, okay, this is KP4MD. I'm going to make a wild guess, and I know sometimes Neil shares pictures on some of his cruises, because I think he's been to Antarctica recently, but maybe this is Bouvet Island. I know everybody's talking about Bouvet Island. I think Bouvet Island is a little more covered with snow or glaciers. So back to Netscape. But perfect, solid picture. You could see on YouTube what I've received. Yeah, I could faintly see something like some feathery diagonal lines up in the upper left-hand corner especially. Back to Nets, KP for MD.
Thanks, Carol. Neil, KL7HQR, what are we looking at?
KL7HQR. Well, not Bouvet Island. I was looking at that island on Google Earth, and it's definitely completely different. This picture was taken by me from aboard the ship on, I think it was the 10th of January. And this is the Elephant Island. Elephant Island is it's about 61 degrees south and 55 west. And it's about 150 miles from the South Shetland Island, from the Antarctica Peninsula. We were going down on the Atlantic, and there was the first stop. The first time we did our trip to Antarctica 3 years ago, we went the other way around. We went west to east, and when we got to Elephant Island, absolutely it was invisible because of the ice fog. This time we had a good view. Let me drop. Yeah, the reason it's kind of interesting is because Ernest Shackleton, he was one of the three explorers that were trying to reach the South Pole. You know, Scott, Amundsen, and Shackleton. In 1914, he started an expedition, and he went down, and he could not make it. His ship got caught on the ice and sunk, and he took a couple of lifeboats and retreated and ended up on this island, Elephant Island, where he left his men, and he went back to get help. 2 years later, in 1916, every one of them were rescued. It was during the First World War I, and not too much attention. But this is quite impressive to see the island where all that happened. Back to net.
Thanks, Neil. That is impressive. I've been to a Shackleton museum and read the books and seen the movies, and it's quite a story. Very cool that you were just there. That's just amazing. What was the weather like for you when you were down there? Did it stay temperate or was it cool?
It's kind of interesting. We left here on the winter, and we flew. Our first landing was in Buenos Aires, Argentina, which was pure summer, you know, in the 70s and 75s. Then Falkland Island was about in the mid-60s. We crossed Drake Passage on going down, which is the passage between South America and the Antarctica Peninsula, where Atlantic and Pacific meet. And that's supposed to be one of the roughest seas in the world. We had pretty, I would say, about 10 to 15 feet seas. It calmed down here at the island. We had about 6 to 8 feet seas. But during the whole entire time on the Antarctica Peninsula, the temperature was between, I would say, between 32 and 26. Not so bad, except for the wind. The wind was really strong.
Copy. Thanks, Neil. This is N6QNJ. Bob or Carol, comments or questions for Neil?
L7HQR. This is the first picture that I managed to capture. Hopefully, during the next several weeks, I'll come up with one or two more.
Copy. Thanks. All right. I'm going to send a picture. Let me see what I have. Hopefully, PD120. Well, it's showing P3 here. Now I have to figure out how to change it. Stand by.
Yeah, you can right-click in the box and change it back to PD120. Just right-click on the button.
I see. Okay, I just did that. Let me just do one more thing. See if I... stand by just a second. All right, here we go. This is PD120. Well, I think we were all there last night, but we could still talk about it. Bob, N6PGQ.
Well, I was going to say the same thing. Well, you start at the top of the picture, and there's the projector, I guess you would call it now, projector for what's on the screen, some recessed lights into the ceiling, and then you come down and there's a screen in the left, and Phil standing there with his red pointer pointing at a Smith chart. Carol's sitting there on the left working the computer, and then there's a whole bunch of us that went to the meeting sitting in the library on Marconi. And picture quality is really good. Don't see any pixel pops in the brownish walls or the background. There's one right to the left of the screen, of the video screen that's there, and a couple on the guy in the front's blue jeans. So anyway, good quality N6 PGQ.
Thanks, Bob. Yeah, and I turned down the power. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I brought it down to 20 watts, which is, I don't usually run this that low, and I'm glad to see it came through. Neil, KL7HQR.
KL7HQR, very good copy here, no problem at all. I do have a few more dots on the picture here and there, but the quality and resolution very, very good. And I have a question. I was there sitting pretty close and noticed that Phil was going all over the place in front, doing his explanation in front of the screen. I did not see his shadow on the screen. Is that projector on top of the ceiling there that was being used? That kind of, it looks like he would have interfered with the picture.
Right, the projector's top center in this photo, so that's why it didn't. He didn't block it.
It was very good, picture there too. So, anyway, it was a nice meeting. A very good picture. It's very wide angle and gives a good feeling of the place and of the environment there. Thank you, James. Back to Net.
Thanks, and Alf KN6PRD. He was there as well. He's watching on YouTube. Carol, KP4MD, any comments? The one comment I'm going to make is there's another picture of Carol sitting in front of a computer.
Yeah, okay, this is KP4MD. Excellent picture. I never, well, being where I was, I didn't see the meeting from that perspective. But I could recognize the SimSmith window there on in that slideshow projection, and nice to see. It was very well attended. We had I think a little bit over a dozen participants also on Zoom, and I think people were really discouraged last month because the quality was so bad, but it's getting better. The video is actually posted now on our YouTube channel, and the video is halfway decent. One of our cameras wasn't working, so we stuck with just one camera, swung it around, and then we do need to work on the audio. The audio was just that one webcam microphone, so it's a little bit echoey and a little bit in the distance, but if you turn it up, it is intelligible. So we're going to be working on that, getting microphones closer to the speakers so it doesn't have to pick up all the echo and the background noise and everything. So we're hoping we're really planning that next month we'll do a lot better. It's a learning process. We only got the equipment a day before this meeting, and it just this is a rush job in a couple hours to get the thing at least to work. So thank everybody for your patience. Back to Netscape for MT.
Thanks, Carol. Yeah, you did an amazing job with equipment you just got your hands on to get that up and running. I'm really pleased with how well it worked compared to last month, so a lot of progress. Phil ordered some more microphones, and I think next month will be even better. Any other comments or questions before I close the net?
Kill7HQR. Obviously, I accidentally sent the picture on a P3 mode. I was looking at it. It looks like it's exactly the same resolution as PD120, but that's why it took over 200 seconds to send. Anybody knows a little bit of why P3 would be better than PD120?
It did seem to take longer. It was a good shot, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I've never seen P3 before.
Well, neither have I. It looks like I probably just accidentally punched the button. So, but that's one thing we were trying to do. A few months ago, we thought about trying different modes and see what the difference is. But I'll have to study a little bit more about the specs and then maybe give us some try at different modes. Back to that.
Thanks. It is a good question. Bob or Carol, do you know?
What I can say is at the very beginning of when we were starting this net, which now was 12 years ago, that's how long we've been doing this slow scan net, we were using Martin 1, which was a 320 pixel wide picture, lower definition. We started doing the PD120, I believe, when we were starting to receive the International Space Station pictures, because those were being sent down with PD120. And for some reason, I think it was Joel, decided to start sending pictures with higher resolution, and we stuck with that PD120, which is the mode, like I said, that the ISS uses, and we've just stuck with it, and I kind of like it too. Over.
Thanks, Carol. Neil, any comments or questions? Or Bob?
Well, I don't know if it made any difference, but I right-clicked on the receive modes, and both PD120 and the other one are both 640 by 496. One of them says 126S. The other says 203S. So that might be seconds. So that's all I know is what I see on the screen.
So, Bob, I think I double with you 90% of the time. Neil, I'm sorry.
Neil, you did double. Bob was saying that P3 is many seconds longer than PD120. Neil, go ahead.
I just apologizing to Bob because when I stopped talking, I heard that he was mentioning. So, anyway, as I said, good night tonight, and thanks a bunch. Back tonight.
Thanks, Neil. This is James Kane, N6QNJ. Any other comments or questions before we close the net? All right. Well, thanks everybody who participated both through the radio on UHF and on the internet through the live stream on YouTube. Alf and Craig, thanks. We hope to see you again next Wednesday at 9 p.m. The net is officially closed at 9:41 p.m. This is James, Kilo November 6, Quebec November Juliet, wishing all of you a good evening. Thanks, Carol. KN6